In another video, we looked at AutoBib, bibliography generator, as an app. Just know that it's also available as an extension for Chrome. So, two slightly different versions of the same thing. We'd like to look at today is EasyBib Toolbar, and this is an extension that can be added to Chrome. So I'll do that now. Okay. And you can see that it added the icon into my bar. So let's go out and start using it. Let's go to maybe CNN. Okay, so I'll just choose an article here. Okay, and in the meantime, I've opened up another website. So we want to take a look at one of EasyBib's features that we'll see in a comparison between these two. So let's look at what's available to us through this extension. While on the web page, I'm going to click the icon. We have a couple of choices: to cite on EasyBib, to view a bibliography. And this third thing is not really a choice, but a bit of information. It's saying that EasyBib rates this website as a source of credible information. So one of the things that we want to do is teach students that not all sources are equal, and certainly not all things on the internet should be taken as authoritative sources. And while we'd like them to learn to do some of that analysis on their own, certainly it's an interesting or an important skill, we also would like to go to trusted sources to do some of that work for us. As adults, we may feel that CNN is a viable news source, whether we always agree with their reporting or not, as opposed to some other websites. For students, they may not have that sort of level of knowledge at this point, so it's a nice feature. Okay, let's go to Cite on EasyBib. It's going to open up a window. A lot of it will be pre-filled out for you. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll kind of go with something in between here, so I can get the room to work, but still be able to see the site. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you'll notice that a lot of the information it was able to grab from the website. So the website title is CNN, Cable News Network is the publisher, which I wouldn't have known, so it's good that they knew that. Here's the URL to the actual article. Do I want to display the URL, yes or no? I can decide. So, and this is advising you to leave out the URL unless the source cannot be located without it. And in this case, it really can't. I mean, the article is a web-based article, so we're going to need to do that. Now, it's telling you here the date that you accessed it, however, not the date it was published. It happens to be the same date in this case, but certainly won't always be. And so that's information that you or your students are likely to have to look up and add. Also, the author information was not picked up, and it looks like the author is Faith Karimi, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I'm going to right-click on that and open that in a new tab, because I can get more information about this particular author. And she's a news desk editor. Okay, so let me flip back to my EasyBib citation here. And her name is Faith Karimi, and she's actually the editor, so this is a more accurate depiction of where this article came from. When I am done, I can create the citation. Let's open this in the big window now to see what we can get from this. And here's a citation here. If I do a series of these in a single session, they'll be formed into a list for me. I can copy and paste the citation here. And then there are some other features down here, other things that you can include. You can also, once they're in this list, you can sort them. It's going to offer for you to save them. I'm going to avoid this in the sense that I have to create another account and EasyBib doesn't seem to have, and maybe I'm incorrect here, but doesn't seem to have that free option. So as long as you're willing to work during limited sessions and copy your information off and not need to archive it on their site, you're good. If you need to archive it on your site, you're going to have to sign up for that account. Okay, so from here I can simply copy and paste into another document. I can change the format. So now it's an MLA8 or an APA format here. So I can get it in the correct format. You notice the correct format is to have this indented, or a hanging indent where the first line is to the left. And while I can copy and paste this, let me come over to a Word document. See, I've worked on it before. I'm not going to get that hanging indent. So one thing I would do is, if I had a series of different citations, I could select that text if I was working in Word. And notice that I've dragged it by the little pentagon portion here. And that's so that I can drag the bottom piece of this tool without the top. So if I wasn't careful and I'd grabbed this, I would have brought both across. That's not a big problem because I can simply take the top inverted pentagon and bring that back into place to get the same effect. Now the same can be done in Google Docs. So let me switch over here to a Google Doc. And if you're very observant, you can see that these have already been set. So let me put them back so that when you first come into a Google Doc, they'll be like this. And what you want to do in this case is take that, here we go, bottom triangle and drag it over. Let me get there you go. Get the rectangle and drag it back. And now anything I paste in here, every new paragraph is going to pick up that format. Okay, and the same would have applied to Word. If I had set that formatting before my paste, it should pick it up from the previous paragraph. So that's how these things work. If you're creating a paragraph based on a previous paragraph by hitting enter, that's how you do it, it picks up the settings, the tabs and alignment and things like that. Okay, let me come back to the website for a second. So we've seen how to use EasyBib here, and I'm going to go to a second website. This is The Onion, so it's a satirical, it was a newspaper. Now of course they have an online component. And when I click, just notice that it's identifying this as not credible. This site is not particularly intended to be credible, or it's intended not to be credible, just to be a joke really. But other sites that are portraying themselves as credible sites should also come up as not credible through here. And of course EasyBib is not the sole and only determiner of whether a site is credible or not, but it's a nice extra feature to have.